1 we are continuing the things from FEMA and onwards. तो हम क्या बोलते हैं कि अंडर शेड्यूल 3 ऑफ द FEMA अगर अमाउंट एक्सीड कर जाता है एज स्पेसिफाइड तो परमिशन चाहिए कि आरबीआई इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द एंटायर अमाउंट नॉट ओनली फॉर द एक्सेस अमाउंट। अगर आपने एक्सेस अमाउंट कर दिया है लिमिट्स में जितना स्पेसिफाई तो आपको सारे अमाउंट के लिए परमिशन चाहिए कि ना कि ओनली एक्सेस अमाउंट के लिए। प्रायर अप्रूवल ऑफ आरबीआई तब चाहिए होती है जब आपका एक्चुअल रेमिटेंस एक्सीड कर जाए $2.5 लाख से एंड डोंट कंसिडर द एस्टिमेटेड एक्सपेंडिचर। नहीं आपको कंसिडर करना है, आपको एक्चुअल एक्सपेंडिचर कंसिडर करना है। उसके बाद शेड्यूल 2 बोलता है कि जो भी ट्रांजेक्शन है डेट रिक्वायर द अप्रूवल ऑफ सीजी, remittance of the prize money, sponsorship of sports activity abroad by the person other than the international, national, state level sport body if the amount involved जो है वो ज़्यादा है $1 lakh, Ministry of Human Resource Development. So remittance of USD that is the 51,000 to England for football do not require the approval. उसके बाद हम बात कर रहे हैं कि जो आकाश सेरेमिक्स है लिमिटेड एंड Indian company that holds the commercial plot in Chennai, which is it intends to sell Mrs. Super Seller, a real estate broker with its head office in the USA, has been appointed by the Akash Ceramics Limited to find some suitable buyers for the said commercial plot in Chennai, which is situated at a prime location. Mrs. Super Seller identify the Glory State based out of the USA as the potential buyer. It is to be noted that the Glory State Incorporation is controlled from India and hence is a person resident in India under the applicable provision of Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. A deal is finalized and Glory State Incorporation agreed to purchase the commercial plot for USD 6 lakh. According to the agreement, Akash Ceramic Limited is required to pay the commission at 7% of the sale proceeds to Messrs. Super Seller for arranging the sale of commercial plot to Glory Estate Incorporation, and commission is to be remitted in the USD to the head office of the Messrs. Super Seller located in USA. It is mandatory here to obtain the prior permission of the Reserve Bank of India for the remittance of entire commission of this USD 42,000. उसके बाद हमारा नेक्स्ट आ रहा है कि एक एनआर ने रिक्वेस्ट किया है हिज इंडियन रेजिडेंट ब्रदर to make payment on his behalf to a mutual fund in India not permitted as it amounts to the payment for credit of NR. Permissible amount जो होगा of foreign exchange का that can be remitted by Mohita Periodicals and the Magazines Publication Limited for obtaining the consultancies and services from an entity based in France without the prior approval of RBI is $1 lakh. Rule 15 read with section 168 subsection 1 if a company has already filed the DIR 12, a foreign director of such a company resigning from office may authorize in writing a practicing CA, CS, CMA or any other resident director of a company to sign the DR 11 and file the same on his behalf intimating the reason for his resignation. If any person stay in India in the preceding does not exceed the 182 days, he will be treated as person resident in India. If he comes in India for 3 purposes, that is consequently and branch outside India owned and controlled by him shall be treated as the PRI. So limit है $250,000 under the LRS is to be seen as per the financial year, not to be seen as calendar year from the date of the last money sent. उसके बाद विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं है तो हम क्या बोलते हैं ड्राफ्टिंग एनी सेल एग्रीमेंट ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी, एक्नॉलेजिंग एनी डेट, ड्रॉइंग एनी बिल्स ऑफ एक्सचेंज, इट इज अ फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शन विच इज नॉट अ सिक्योरिटी एज डिफाइंड इन पब्लिक डेट एक्ट 1944, शेयर्स एंड स्टॉक, कंपनी डिपॉजिट. द आंसर इज कंपनी डिपॉजिट विच इज नॉट अ सिक्योरिटी इन द पब्लिक डेट में कौन सी इनमें से सिक्योरिटी नहीं है. द करेक्ट आंसर इज द पब्लिक डिपॉजिट्स. शेड्यूल 2 ट्रांजेक्शन विच रिक्वायर द प्रायर अप्रूवल ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. कौन सा ऐसा शेड्यूल है जिसमें प्रायर अप्रूवल चाहिए होती है ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट? इट इज शेड्यूल 2. इंपोर्टर एक्सपोर्टर कोड नंबर इज अलॉटेड बाय द डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड. Role of foreign exchange by any purpose by any person for the purpose of travel to Bhutan allowed है for पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान एंड बांग्लादेश. अलाउ कौन सा अलाउ है? भूटान, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान और बांग्लादेश के लिए प्रोहिबिट किया गया है. हम क्या बोल रहे हैं कि ड्रॉल ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज बाय एनी पर्सन फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ ट्रेवल टू भूटान इज भूटान जो है वो नहीं. ड्रॉवल ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज बाय एनी पर्सन फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ ट्रेवल टू भूटान इज प्रोहिबिटेड. अलाउड है पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, बांग्लादेश और प्रोहिबिट है भूटान के लिए. Any person resident in India who had gone out of India on a temporary visit may bring into India at the time of his return from any place outside India other than from Nepal and Bhutan currency notes of Government India and Reserve Bank of India notes up to an amount not exceeding the 25,000. स्टेटमेंट ए बोलता है कि सिटीजनशिप जो है रेलेवेंट क्राइटेरिया है फॉर द डिटर्मिनेशन और रेजिडेंशियल स्टेटस ऑफ अ पर्सन अंडर द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट एक्ट 1999. क्या सिटीजनशिप जो है वो वैलिड क्राइटेरिया रेजिडेंशियलशिप के लिए? तो द करेक्ट आंसर इज नो, आई मीन ये इनकरेक्ट है. Person residing outside India now where citizenship has been considered as a criteria for determining the residential status. सिटीजनशिप जो है वो रेलेवेंट नहीं है, रेलेवेंट क्राइटेरिया नहीं है फॉर द डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ रेजिडेंशियल स्टेटस ऑफ अ पर्सन अंडर द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट एक्ट 1999. द स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. रेमिटेंस अगेंस्ट इंपोर्ट शुड बी कंप्लीट होगा नॉट लेटर दैन रेमिटेंस अगेंस्ट इंपोर्ट शुड बी कंप्लीटेड not later than 6 months from the date of shipment except in the cases where the amount are withheld towards the guarantee of performance etc. The term currency में include होता है currency notes, postal order, money order, check, draft, traveler check, letter of credit, bill of exchange, and any other promissory note, credit note, or such other similar instrument as may be notified by the central bank, by the Reserve Bank. Capital account transaction, a transaction जो कि alter करता है asset and liability including the contingent liability outside India of a person resident in India or assets or liability in India or person resident outside India. Where an exporter receives the advance payment from the buyer named in the export declaration made by the exporter outside India, the exporter shall be under an obligation to ensure that the rate of interest, if any, payable on the advance payment shall not exceed the 100 basis point above the London under the LIBOR or other applicant benchmark as may be directed by the Reserve Bank. उसके बाद रमन लॉजिस्टिक्स लिमिटेड अ मल्टी मोडल ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑपरेटर इज इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ मेकिंग फॉरेन रेमिटेंस थ्रू 3 overseas agent located at Sweden, this formerly Republic and Poland. Which one of the following option is applicable in such a situation? For making such a kind of foreign remittance, Raman Logistics Limited should be in a position of registration certificate which is issued by the Director General of Shipping. How much foreign currency by a person may bring into India at any time without submitting any declaration? That is the USD 5,000. Then आता है हमारा Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, that is the FCRA. FCRA क्या है? A donation in kind by a foreign citizen to the resident India shall be excluded. Definition of foreign contribution from if the market value in India or such article on the date of such a gift is not more than 1 lakh. डोनेशन एक्सक्लूड हो जाएगा इफ इट इज नॉट मोर देन एक्सक्लूडेड व्हेन its value is not more than 1 lakh. Intimation is not required to be given to central government regarding the foreign contributor received by his brother being less than the threshold limit of 10 lakh. Chain worth rupees this तो जो भी है. Certificate of registration issue on 1st April 2023. Validity period होगा for said registration will be 31st March 2008. यानी कि 5 years जो है वो वैलिडिटी पीरियड रहता है फॉर दी सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन एंड ऑल. Mr. Raja, an office bearer of political party, received the foreign contribution of 9 lakh during the financial year 22-23 from his sister residing abroad. Mr. Raja is required to inform of such a foreign contribution received to the central government with how many time period? No intimation is required for such foreign contribution. Mr. X has been found guilty of violation of the provision of FCRA and listed amount here of foreign contribution that the same shall not be utilized without the prior approval of the central government. So certificate of registration granted shall be valid होगा for the period of 5 years from the date of its issue. So Foreign Contribution Regulation Act वो applicable नहीं है to the Indian citizen while in India, Indian citizen while outside India, foreign while in India और foreigner while outside India. FCRA applicable नहीं इंडियन सिटीजन जब इंडिया में हो, इंडियन सिटीजन जब बाहर हो, फॉरेन जब इंडिया में और फॉरेनर जब बाहर हो. द करेक्ट आंसर इज फॉरेन वाइल आउटसाइड इंडिया. जब फॉरेनर बाहर हो तभी एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. उसके बाद एवरी पर्सन हु इज रजिस्टर्ड एंड ग्रांटेड अ सर्टिफिकेट और गिवन द प्रायर परमिशन अंडर दिस एक्ट and receive any foreign contribution shall not defray as far as possible sum not exceeding 20,000 of such a contribution received in a financial year to meet the administrative expenses. उसके बाद आता है हमारा इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी कोड. Under the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, an appeal against the order passed by the NCLT shall be filed within a period of 30 days from the date of order of NCLT. कोई भी एप्लीकेशन जो है अंडर दी इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी कोर्ट अगेंस्ट द बैंक, FI etc. can be made because financial service provider are excluded from the corporate debtor. However, CG notified that it may be initiated against the NBFC having the total asset of greater than equal to 500 crore. Under the fast track insolvency, only one time extension can be granted up to 45 days. One time extension दी जाएगी up to 45 days, and so if first time 30 days extension has been given, another 10-day extension cannot be given. Operational creditor can alter the claim within 14 days of submission to the liquidator. जो भी operational creditor है that the same can claim कर सकता है within how many days? Within the 14 days of submission to the liquidator. Corporate debtor company itself is a corporate debtor. Corporate debtor क्या है? Company itself is a corporate debtor. जो भी information memorandum है that the same is prepared by the resolution of professional. So moratorium है that the same is not declared by the adjudicating authority for suspension of supply of essential goods or service to the corporate debtor. Moratorium essential goods पर applicable नहीं होगा. An interest or line created on the property or any assets or any person or any of its undertaking both is called the charge. That is the charge, not the pledge. All decision of the committee of creditors shall be taken by what not less than 51% of the financial creditor. Any amount raised from an allotee under the real estate project shall be deemed to be an amount having the commercial effect of borrowing shall be treated as financial debt. So moratorium है that the same can be declared by the adjudicating authority for which the following act: the prohibition, the institution of any suit filed against the corporate debtor, the prohibiting any action to enforce any security interest created by the corporate debtor, prohibit the recovery of any property by an owner where such property is occupied by the corporate debtor, and suspension of supply of essential goods service to the corporate debtor. उसके बाद ऑप्शन 1, 2 and 3 जो करेक्ट ऑप्शन इसके ऑप्शन 1, 2 and 3 है. Prohibiting the institution of any suit against the corporate debtor, prohibiting any action to enforce any security interest created by the corporate debtor, prohibit the recovery of any person by the owner of such a property is occupied by the corporate debtor. So committee है creditor that the same shall be constituted होगी by the interim resolution professional, who shall conduct the corporate insolvency resolution process, that is the resolution professional. Adjudicating authority allow करेगी the withdrawal of application admitted under the 90% vote. हमारे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं यहाँ पे तो